Hey, welcome back, subscribers, to my world of stocks. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about Duolingo stock and the mind blowing crash that they've been going through. It's pretty crazy stuff here. They've now lost over 80% of their entire value from the top. Now, this, of course, being a very popular language learning app with also a very talked about stock out there in the market, which for a good stretch there, it was actually performing just as well as the app, being a huge market favorite as a bit of a speculative stock, I would say, that was constantly breaking new record highs as the business was also looking like an unstoppable growth machine. But more recently, that little green owl is now looking much more like a giant red bear because the stock continues to get hammered over and over throughout really mostly the past year. So, today we're going to dive a little deeper into the business here to see what's causing this now giant crash, despite the fact that more people are actually using the app than ever before. We'll talk a bit about AI disruption and whether that's an opportunity for growth or if it's another disruption threat to be worried about, like we've been seeing really throughout much of the market recently. And finally, I'll do my best to answer the question of whether the stock is worth picking up here on the dip or if it should be avoided entirely because of the higher risk. Now, full disclosure though, I do actually own a very small piece of it myself, but it's one of my smallest speculative plays that I strongly limit my exposure to. However, I will update you guys on my thoughts now with everything going on and whether I plan to make any adjustments to my position going forward too. So if that sounds good to you guys, then go ahead and smash that like button. It helps me out. Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it, my friends. All right, now first things first, let's pull up that stock chart. Let's take a closer look here at the damage. Well, after IPOing in 2021, the stock was a poor performer really for a couple years, eventually dipping down to even under $100 per share, which is where I really did the majority of my own buying too. After that, though, the stock actually began to absolutely skyrocket, shooting all the way up to even north of $540 a share, which actually occurred very recently, only less than a year ago. And yet, since then, in that very short amount of time, the stock has actually proceeded to get absolutely obliterated, crashing by well over 80% from the very top. Some of which, by the way, was even fueled just last week when they reported earnings for the full year of 2025, which left the stock down about a quarter of its value just in the past month alone. The crazy thing is, though, that those earnings, along with a few from the past two, were actually not that bad. At least I would say nowhere near bad enough to really warrant such a monumental crash in the price, at least in my opinion. For example, though, in the full year, the company actually reported a whopping 38% rise in sales. And while net income technically benefited from a huge one-time tax benefit, even when you adjust for that, they still grew profits by an even larger 80% year over year. In other words, this is a young company here that has actually been performing phenomenally well over time and really seem to be headed in the right direction too, which is a direct result of their strong and growing user base that has now risen to more than 52 million daily active users, which is up over 30% year over year, with over 12 million paid subscribers too, which was also up over 28%. This, of course, being a very popular app primarily for learning new languages in a very fun and gamified way. And what's so special or unique about them isn't how they've really turned learning into a daily habit, using things like streaks, XP points, leaderboards, badges, and constant little dopamine hits that keep you coming back while staying motivated to keep learning further too. And it's a model that has really proven to be very sticky because of it, which is why their daily users are so engaged in the tens of millions, which is a hugely positive sign, by the way. Like, if any company can achieve over 52 million people using their service every single day, that means that they're likely killing it business wise. And the streaks, by the way, the streaks feature are a big part of that, I would say, because once you build up a long streak, you're really not going to want to lose it, as missing a day will almost feel like you broke a promise to yourself. And that's really the type of psychology that I feel Duolingo has been trying to tap into over time. And it's also why around 80% of their new users actually join organically too, since the product largely markets itself through word of mouth and social sharing, as users generally have a great experience being both addictive and effective at teaching you something new. And so that's really how Duo has been able to really grow by so much and so quickly. But it's really just the floor of what they're capable of, in my opinion, while the ceiling is obviously going to be much higher beyond just learning a new language, as the company is now expanding aggressively too into other subjects and verticals like math, music, childhood development, testing, certification, even chess too, if you can believe it. And there's really no limits to how much further that can all go too. As in the future, Duolingo could potentially become a full fledged education ecosystem, especially with the heavy integrations of artificial intelligence, which they're now investing more heavily into, that could theoretically teach you almost anything while doing all of that really in that same gamified method or way that Duolingo is so famous for. However, this is actually where most of the concerns start to creep into the stock too. Because just think about this logically here for a second. If you're trying to build up an entire ecosystem of ever expanding subjects and verticals, then what you really need to focus on is attracting as many users as possible over to your platform so that it becomes the most widely used and recognized brand in the space. Because in reality, there's not really some huge barrier to entry here. Technically, anyone can make an app for this. It obviously wouldn't be as good or polished to start out, but it could technically be done over time as long as you have the funding and the resources, which AI, by the way, can actually make much easier and even cheaper in the future too. Hence why the stock is also crashing because of the fear of a rising AI threat, where large language models, for example, like ChatGPT, are gradually improving at real-time translation and even conversational practice, which can often be used for free too, let alone the actual building of new apps and features that can mimic Duolingo's own approach. And so if their moat starts to narrow because of new AI tools that can do pretty much anything that Duolingo already offers, then the growth story and even the stickiness to their business can all take a big hit. And so in my opinion, which is also the opinion of Duo's management team, by the way, is that the best way to fight that off is to build their user base up as much as possible right now before the disruption even takes place, and to also invest heavily into AI themselves so that they stay ahead of any rising competition that tries to use AI against them. Well, in order to do that, Duo is implementing a really big strategic shift here, where they've decided to intentionally slow down their own monetizations. In other words, they're going to limit their own profits in order to focus on attracting more users through the free features of the app, with management saying that they'll now be removing friction for free users to drive word of mouth adoption, as they aim to hit a massive 100 million daily active users by 2028, which would be about double their current size right now in just about 2 years' time. Again, it's a move that I actually agree with myself as a long term minded investor, because it values the long term health of the company over immediate performance right now. As a result, though, they estimate that they'll be giving up over $50 million in potential bookings this year alone in order to keep the free experience as smooth as possible. Well, as you might expect, the market absolutely hates this move because it resulted in guidance for the full year, this year that we're in right now, to call for a slowdown in revenue growth down into the teens, which is a huge drop from the 38% growth that we saw last year. And at the same time, management said that they'll also be investing much heavier into new AI features as well as increased marketing to attract all of those new users, resulting in lower margins of around 25% for EBITDA, which would be about 5 points lower than it was last year. So the question now for any investors in the stock really is, where do we go from here? Will these investments actually pay off for them, or is this going to slowly turn into a sinking ship that eventually goes under? Well, like I said before, this is a speculative stock to me, meaning that it's high risk and in my opinion, it should be treated as such. Because from the way I see it, there's really two possible scenarios from here. Now, I actually own some of the stock again. So obviously, I believe much more in the bull scenario. But that doesn't mean that the bear scenario isn't a very real possibility too. Now, when looking at the former, though, the bull case, well, that would be that their new strategy actually works as they enlarge the top of their funnel, really, to be able to attract a ton of new users that they can further monetize down the road as their new AI investments start paying off too, helping them create better lessons at greater speed, offer more personalized human like tutoring at the higher price premium tiers, which increases their moat while also improving their margins and monetizations. And they successfully transformed the platform from just, learning French to now being the all-in-one ecosystem for learning just about anything with uncapped future potential. And as such, their growth rates may stabilize, their margins slowly start expanding once again, and their already strong free cash flows even allow them to buy back more stock at these far lower levels, helping them improve their EPS numbers too, which, by the way, they're already starting to do that as they just announced a massive $400 million stock repurchasing plan too, which is probably a smart move considering not just how solidly profitable they are already, but also the fact that the stock now trades about 14% cheaper than the sector and a whopping 95% cheaper than their own 5-year average on a forward PE basis. But if the bear case takes control instead, then Duo could be in huge trouble. Where in that scenario, we'd probably see large language models getting dramatically stronger, and all of the things that I pointed out to you earlier in this video, to where rising competition that may even include free AI tools that can do many of the things that Duo already offers. And over time, it results in even slower subscriber growth, despite the fact that Duo is literally trying to almost like subsidize their user counts in a way right now. But thus, we're left with a lower growth, low margin business that has to continuously spend more just to keep whatever users that they're able to get their hands on. And because of the pricing pressure from rising competition, their average revenue per user starts to drop too, and the company just continues to sink further to the point where investors lose all interest and the stock never really recovers. Again, I believe the former is more likely, but the latter is not out of the question either. And because of that, I am being very careful not to get overly exposed to a stock like this. For most spec stocks, really, I try to limit my exposure to no more than like 1% of my overall portfolio for each one of those. Which as of right now, I think Duo is like only a fraction of 1%. So I could easily double down if I really wanted to, which I may do, by the way, but it's not something that I consider to be like a safe investment for parking, a giant amount of my money, even after this huge crash. But like I said, I remain mostly bullish long-term on Duolingo, and I will probably buy some more shares here after the giant crash, which I'll of course be sure to update you guys on in the future too if anything changes. So make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. But for now, let me know what you all think about this one down below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you own the stock? Are you buying? Or do you think it's just way too risky even after such a huge crash? I would understand any of those answers, by the way, but let me know which one is yours. Either way, though, I thank you guys for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you got something out of it. But hey, thank you again just for watching the video, for hitting that like button. It means a lot to me. And I hope you're all doing well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.